Hello everyone, welcome to Achievers IAS classes. Let's begin our discussion on the current events of 30th November 2018. The first issue in news is an editorial regarding the negative impacts of heat wave. According to a recent study by the Lancet journal, increased exposure to heat waves not only leads to an economic loss due to loss of labor productivity, particularly in the agricultural sector on which a large section of the population is dependent, but also the report sounds a warning that rising temperatures have an adverse impact on health, particularly it enables dengue virus and malaria to spread faster and further, which is also true in various other infections. Therefore, there is a need for clarity and connecting these various issues from the perspective of government action, which has to be on several lines, particularly on cutting back of carbon emissions and moving to alternative forms of energy like solar photovoltaics and the induction of more electric vehicles. Such a policy would also yield the parallel benefit of improving the air quality and controlling the ambient air pollution, thereby reducing the premature death caused due to polluted air. Further, adaptation to such extreme events has to be emphasized, which requires a well considered plan to provide relief and rehabilitation, for which the center and state governments have to arrive at a consensus to demonstrate a strong link between related extreme events like the excessive rain in Kerala and the cyclone Gaja in Tamil Nadu. If this link were to be established, there could be a case made for greater climate funds under the Paris Agreement. These measures have to be accompanied by a transparent system for funds utilization which identifies the vulnerable regions and communities, which is essential to mitigate the aggravated impact of climate change on health. On that note, let's move on to the next issue, which is an editorial regarding the revised GDP data. We have already seen yesterday how the newly released GDP back series has revised the growth rate of the previous years, thereby questioning the claim of the previous government of a high growth rate during its tenure. Such backcasting is a regular exercise that governments carry out in order to enable a precise comparison and analysis of the economic growth, which involves the inclusion of newer data sources, exclusion of outdated ones, as well as making certain subjective assumptions in the whole process. Given this, and also the change in methodology and the base year for the calculation of GDP, the back series data computed by the Central Statistics Office has now shown that the nation never grew in double digits in the year 2010-11, nor was it a high growth economy in the previous years as was claimed earlier. Further, it also shows that the Indian economy never really decoupled from the global financial crisis of 2008, which is reflected in a much lower growth rate as per the new numbers. The key takeaway from the whole exercise is that even though the method of computation reflects the latest United Nations system of national accounts, the policymakers should be aware that the data generated and the methods used has been thoroughly scrutinized by experts, including the past chief statisticians and the advisory committee on national account statistics. In this regard, India needs to invest more in data collection and integration, and more so with respect to the informal sector, and at the same time prevent the politicization of the issue. On that note, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding the liquidity crisis in the NBFC sector. The non-banking financial sector is facing liquidity shortage after the infrastructure leasing and finance services, which is a core investment company, started defaulting on loans, which ultimately resulted in the government dismantling the existing board of the company and installing a new one in its place. The cost of funds for these non-banking finance firms have gone up, thereby putting significant pressure on their profitability, thereby demanding certain measures to ease the liquidity crunch. In response, the RBI has relaxed the securitization norms and also the minimum holding period requirement to securitize loans with maturity of more than 5 years, provided that the NBFC retains 20% of the book value of these loans. On that note, I'm wrapping up today's news analysis. Do like, share, and comment to support this initiative. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.